We begin today with the sad news of the passing of Jerry West at age 86. West spent his entire career in basketball as a player, a coach, and a general manager. It's a career that spans 65 years and is unprecedented in the game. Wilbon, what are your reflections on the man and his career?
Tony, I don't even know where to start. I learned of this story, of Jerry's passing this morning on a flight down here to Dallas to cover the finals. It has just been a sort of depressing day for me. I feel very fortunate in that I got to be around Jerry West for years. And I know that you did too. Some of those years overlap, but you got there before me. And as you know, there was nothing quite like the privilege of being able to be around Jerry West, to listen to him. You know, he's a brilliant, profane, compassionate, insightful, generous man who told his story in his autobiography, which I would recommend that anybody read. It was not an easy road for him as a young man, and then he became this enormous star in the NBA. And Tony, you know, I'm thinking about lately the passing of Jim Brown and Jerry West, and I got to know them both. And I was in awe of them as a grown man. And the first time I met Jerry West, I was in my mid-20s maybe, met him for real, where it's just a one-on-one situation at a game somewhere. And I called him Mr. West. And he just looked at me and said, "Son, don't ever do that again. Don't ever call me that again." And after that, it was just so cool. Let me tell you one quick story. That Jerry West, one of my first games as a kid, my father took me to the old Chicago Stadium, maybe the amphitheater, to see Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, and Elgin Baylor. And as you know, you were there as an older kid. Baylor got hurt. He hurt his knee. He couldn't go on that great run, 33 games in a row. And Jerry West went to his house. He went to Baylor's house to say, "No, you can't retire. You can't go away now. We're going to beat the Celtics, Elgin. We're going to beat them this year. You, me, Wilt, Gail Goodrich, we got this." And Baylor said, "I can't," because this was before medical technology, modern medicine. And he couldn't do it. And they sat there and they cried. And they wanted to do this. West wanted to convince him, and he couldn't. As you know, Baylor wasn't on that team. And they did win. They beat the Knicks, not the Celtics. And I think about those stories, and I'm going on too long here because you need some time to talk about this. But Jerry, it just depresses me now that Jerry West is gone.
So I think that Jerry West has had the most complete career in the history of basketball. He started out as an All-American at West Virginia when he was Zeke from Cabin Creek. He was on an Olympic gold medalist team. He goes to the Lakers, where he's one of the greatest players of all time. He wins a championship. He becomes a coach and realizes that Pat Riley could probably be a better coach than him. So Pat Riley becomes a coach, and he becomes a general manager, where he builds champions, where he has an unbelievable, uncanny eye for talent and gets Kobe Bryant and he gets Shaquille O'Neal. And he does this at other teams as well. Mike, in the last couple of days, you and I have talked about Danny Hurley not going to the Lakers and whether the Lakers should be embarrassed at not being great anymore. When Jerry West was with the Lakers, they were great every single day. Those were the glory days of the Los Angeles Lakers. Those. And I mean, I'm not gonna pretend that I knew him well, but he's the logo. What more do you want? His silhouette is the NBA. Jerry West. I was around Jerry West here and there. If you wrote about basketball, you were around Jerry West here or there. And the greatest thing about Jerry West, as you know, is he liked to talk. You could go to the grill room or the card room at Bel Air Country Club any day, and you could find Jerry West, and you could talk to him. And, Mike, it was a master class in basketball. I think he has had the longest and greatest career in any sport, Mike. Agreed. I believe that. I do.
Tony, he was such a great player, and people now don't know that. They don't know how great he was as a player. He averaged like 44 points with no three-point line in a playoff series. He was so great as a player, then so great as an executive, and just the greatest ambassador. You know, I mean, the Memphis' greatest run was with Jerry West. The Clippers' best run was with Jerry West as a consultant.
You don't call Jerry West, it was magic. Mr. Clutch. You don't call somebody Mr. Clutch if he doesn't make key baskets. And he's got one of the three or four most famous shots ever against the Knicks. You know, putting it
Tony,
overtime.
I've gotten to know Jerry's son, Johnny West, and his daughter-in-law, Michelle Wee. And my sympathies and thoughts go out to them. They are around the game. You can see them both at Golden State, at Lakers games. And it's so cool to see them and Jerry with them. Jerry wasn't a recluse. You could see Jerry anytime you walked into a Laker game. It was so, it was a privilege and an honor.